Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Brother Earthquake. This is a topic that sort of talked about 30 years ago, and a lot of churches didn't want to deal with it. And Marlena, how you doing? They didn't want to deal with it. And I was laughed to scorn on a lot of the topics that I'm teaching on now. Hey, Renee. They pretty much threw me out. Good morning, Zivo. How you doing? So, it was a painful thing because, Andy, how you doing? New York, New York. And so, it's like, Florida, how you doing? So, back then, I was dealing with a lot of subjects, and wasn't like it is now. But Kimberly, how you doing? Diane, how you doing? Hey, boy. Davis, how are you? Michelle. So I was dealing with, topics like this, and a lot of people were upset with me, and they pretty much laughed me to scorn, and it was pretty bad. So the lady from Haiti who was sent by Papa Doc to teach me, she was telling me that it's gonna come a time. It's gonna come a time where the decades. So I didn't know what decades were. Melinda, how are you? So she says, son, there's going to come a time when the decades are going to open. So I'm like, what is a decade? I thought it meant 10. At school, they said decades mean 10. Papa Doc was the president of Haiti from 1957 to 1971. He was sort of rough, just to put it that way. He's really responsible for a lot of bad stuff in Haiti. So hey Frank, how you doing? Quintrell, how you doing? So she was explaining to me about the decades. I was of that age. I was of that age that I thought that decades, decades meant something else, like the age of 10 or something like that. But she's like, No, there's something down there. Something down there in the ground. Something down there in the ground that is going to open up. So I'm like, what's in the ground? I'm like, just call our office, bless Ann, like to help you. It's at the Kelley. It's the Kelley in the house. How you doing? So she was saying, down there in the ground. So I'm like, ground? So I'm like, ground? What's in the ground? Because I didn't know. She's saying, down there in the ground. She was saying, down there in the ground. Down there in the ground. Right. Huh? I don't understand. Doing great, thank you, Kelley, thank you. It's like, yeah, so she was saying this, that there's stuff down in the ground. So I couldn't understand what she was talking about. So she said, someday son, the decades will open. The decades will open. Decades? You mean 10? And she said, no, son. No, son. I don't understand. She said, no decades. They mean 10. They do mean 10, but this is not the same 10. This is not talking about 10 like you know it. This is not talking about 10. Numbers. No, this is something different. So I'm not getting it. You don't understand, son? Now then yet? Hold on a second. Come here.